That looks personal. What is this?
Alaska. A summer of midnight fishing on the Clutina River.
Instead of the smaller, I think is what I did last time, I'm going to go like this so that they're thicker.
Like 3 fingers wide?
3 fingers.
Okay.
Let's not mention fingers and cutting at the same time. Sorry. Oh, so if you want to do it together, that's cool. What we'll do is we're going to make a layer in here, however you want to do it. And then the sugar salt, so it's 3 cups sugar to 1 cup of non-ionized, whatever salt, right? Okay, so that's our recipe. And then we're going to...
Okay, so I'm going to layer and sprinkle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, and then we're going to hopefully get up in the middle of the night and stir it around. I'm not too tired, although it's kind of bedtime. So we might stay up another hour and then mix it.
Oh my goodness. That's just an hour.
In the fridge she goes.
8 hours is 5:30. Chris will be up at 5:30.
Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm basting the salmon with a mixture of honey and maple syrup. I'm using about 4 heaping tablespoons of honey to 1 teaspoon of maple syrup, and then just making sure that it's nice and warm, roughly 90 degrees or so, to make it nice and easy to baste on, as you can see there. And then I'm just going to baste all 3 trays of the salmon with this mixture. It's going to sit under a fan to dry out to make that surface nice and tacky for about an hour. I'm going to repeat that a total of 3 times that I've basted them, and then they go into the smoker for an hour and a half. You'll see some of those smaller pieces. Those are the ones that I'm going to pull out at an hour and a half, and then the thicker ones are going to stay in for a total of 2 hours. And it turned out perfect. All right, it came. We got the Vivor DZ260A. We're going to unpack it. We're going to vacuum pack some smoked salmon so we can finally finish the job that we started, I think, like 2 weeks ago. they didn't go cheap on the tape.
Oh my gosh. Your fingers were white.
Were they? Heavier than it looks. Here, I'm just a wussy. Ooh. Ah. Mm. That looks personal. What is this?
An enema bottle.
I know this is the oil. There's... That just takes up space. So things can lay flat. So you can take it in or out. Ready? I think those are replacement strips for the heat thing on the bottom. Right, extra gasket, that's pretty cool. Electric cord, that's necessary. This says for Lisa. Certification of approval? Apparently it was approved. Parts. And they were even nice enough to include some bags so you can get to work right away. Oops.
What?
An extra fuse.
Nice. Alright, so you unscrew back cover, screw and lift back cover.
Handle have back cover, what does that mean? Oh, and lift?
Yep.
Oh. Like a hood to a car.
The whole kit and caboodle. Holy smoke.
Caboodle and everything.
So take out the oil mist filter, which is this pipe thing here.
Why would you do that?
It just says to.
Which one?
Well, it points to this one, which
I'm not
looks
taking
like
the
it goes
noses
to
off.
the back. So you undo this.
No. Cancel. Keep reading.
Then you add the vacuum pump oil
Okay.
to a 1/2 to 3/4 level. Do not fill in full.
Yep. And then hopefully once it kind of goes through the motor, it goes down a little bit. Okay. Reasonably snug. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to click on settings. We're going to start at a vacuum of 30 seconds. We're going to leave the factory default. What does that say?
Sealing.
Sealing, sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Sealing at 1.4 seconds. And then we're going to leave the cooling at 3 seconds, which is also a factory default. So, you ready for the first one?
Ready.
And then they've got to stop here in case there's an emergency and everything is sucking too much.
Whoa.
Alright, so we're going to do that. And then this is our first batch, which is the more salty version. So we're going to have less in there. So hopefully my hand wasn't in the way. Put that down. Put that down. Close this up. You ready?
Ready.
Oh, right there's good. So we want that to get to the green. I think the 30 seconds is going to be pretty good.
Oh my goodness.
That was super cool. Is that it? Oh,
That's
the
it.
last little thunk there when I was talking. Okay, so we've got that. We've got a beautiful seal, and that feels pretty tight.
Wow,
What do you think?
that's impressive.
One snack to go. You know, the other cool thing about these bags, since they're already pre-made, to open them up, it's on the opposite end. I think they should have put them here, but there's already a little, can you see that little groove to rip it open?
Oh, wow.
At least they tried. But hey, bag makers, put them on this end. And these I put in the freezer, so they're already frozen. That's why they look a little goofy. They're a little frosty, because I was nervous about the time period that it was taking for the sealer to get here, and I didn't want them going bad. Okay, so, and then these thicker ones are the coho from Valdez. And there's one thing I discovered. You ready for my discovery?
Mm-hmm.
The best smoked salmon are the Copper River Reds, without question. When we cook them, at least in my opinion, I can't really tell a difference. God, this smells good. I can't tell a big difference between the Copper River Reds, or Clatina to be more specific, and the silvers. I can't tell a big difference between the sockeye, which would be the Copper River or Clatina Reds, and the silvers, which would be the coho from Valdez when you cook them. When you smoke them, huge difference, in my opinion. We're going to be smoking the reds in the future. Why'd you turn it off?
Taking precautions.
A big commercial silver one from Cabela's,
Yeah,
because my theory is always buy the best one you can afford,
right.
and it was like 300 something.
Yeah.
Bought that thing, so I think we got it when we were in Hazel Double. We might have got it when we were in Richfield,
Isn't that the one we
but
took?
that's like 20 years ago, right?
Right. Isn't that the one that we took out up there?
We took it to Alaska. I use it every once in a while with a hope and a prayer, because it costs so much. How do you just throw it away?
Yeah.
But the seals would almost always give out. That's so cool. But anyway, the seals would almost always give out.
Yeah.
And I figured out this summer, you gotta hold the thing down for this time period and it worked better.
Oh, good.
And all of our fish, all of the cranberries, everything is sealed with that.
Oh.
But I'm going to say we still have 15-20% of the bags that since then have given up their seal.
Oh, wow.
So it works okay, but not great. I don't think these are going to give up their seal.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. As I learned, you can get those little cheap vacuum sealers at Costco, Fred Meyer's, wherever, and they actually worked better than the Cabela's commercial whatever one.
Yeah.
Because they had different options. So no more super expensive crazy stuff if you can't find a bad review on a less expensive option.
Right.
That's my theory. You know, this light's go on the camera and I keep forgetting to hit record.
I'll hit it on the next one.
Isn't that delicious? These are actually all three of the sockeye reds. Right there. Copper River Reds, Clatina Reds, whatever you want to call them. Delish!
So if the boys come to Alaska,
Then we need to get double locks on the freezer.
and they fish too, then we could fillet
They can fillet their
And-
own darn fish.
seal, and then ship back. So all they would have to do is take this bag and put it in the freezer when they go home.
Well, we could smoke it for them if they don't have a smoker, and then seal it so they don't have to spend the money on it. But they should come here and do it on their own, because there's teaching men to fish,
Right.
right? Opposed to catching all this fish for them. Literally, we're talking about fish. I don't know about y'all, but that's how we raised our boys. And seeing them today, that ship paid off. That paid off. Very self-sufficient. They don't need anybody to catch their own fish. Okay, let's hit record so you guys can see. Hit the go. Okay, final result, A+. I've fought with so many of these darn things over the years. To have all of these first go round turn out perfect is just so satisfying. So what we did is we have batch 1. So we put a 1 on there. Those are the most salty. That was test 1, not too confident, so we didn't do too many. But they're good. And then we got batch 2, a little bit more. I would say a little less salty, a little more moist because I made the pieces bigger. And those are pretty good. And then we have batch 3, which we did a lot more of because we were confident at this point. And so the big trick was rinsing these off. I was nervous to do that, but based on some recommendations from folks that know what they're doing, I did it. So we used 3 cups of sugar, brown sugar, to 1 cup of salt, the non-ionized salt. You guys probably know that. And then we let them soak for 8.5, 9 hours. And then about every 2 hours we flip them around. We already talked about that. And then I took them out and I rinsed them. That was a big ticket. And we made our own honey glaze from our own honey. Mixed it with a little bit of maple syrup to thin it out. Got it nice and warm, glazed it up. These are so freaking delicious that you get to smoke. How long did they smoke? Do you remember?
I think it went longer than you did those, but I can't remember.
2 hours. It's an hour and a half if you have small pieces. So these little thin strips, can y'all see that? Little thin strips. I drank too much coffee, so I'm shaking. Sorry. And then an hour and a half, we pull those out. and then we lower the temperature to 100 degrees and let the rest sit in there for another half an hour, and donezo. I would say another thing that was a real focus is I didn't want the heat so high that you start getting those oils coming out, that white gooey stuff, the oils and the moisture coming out. I want to leave that in the fish. The other thing that we learned that's super important, have we already talked about this?
What part?
That the Copper River Reds, I think we did so much better. So yeah, we did so much better. So this, Lisa, if you want to try it, is one piece left. That's how moist they are. Of the Cohos, so the silvers from Valdez. You get the smoke, and you get the sweet. I don't get any salt. You taste a little bit of salt, right?
Yeah, a little bit, but nothing like batch one. But definitely smoke. The smoke flavor comes through better.
It's so delicious.
And the sweet isn't like based on brown sugar sweet. It's sweet because we use the honey.
We tried to divide these up in the size that we would use per day. So that's the reason we did the size we did.
Super good.
I don't have another thick one of the reds. This is going to be the thickest. So then tell me what you think the difference is. I should have showed you the other one. I'm dripping with honey. I'm so sweet. So not the very tail end.
Yeah. The reds are definitely
Just darker
meat.
I think they retain the moisture better.
I was just going to say that there's more.
And that's a super thin piece.
More body to it. More texture.
In my opinion, all smoked fish in the future are the reds. It's a smaller fish, but it is just so much better. When you cook them, the two, I can't tell the difference.
This is really good.
Crazy good. All right, so we're gonna try something. This jar doesn't fit this way. And if I set it sideways, this will fall off. So just to keep it in place, I'm gonna leave it loose. Close the thingamabob, and hopefully nothing explodes. Okay. Why am I nervous? Ready?
Oh my gosh!
I don't know how that works. Like, how does it suck the air out of here? So this is the smoked salmon all the way through, from catching to brining to smoking to sealing them up. Oh, so what was our final number? How many do we have?
3 of batch 1.
Minus everything that I've already eaten.
Yeah. 5 of batch 2 and 10 of batch 3.
Okay, so do we know how much it weighs?
Oh, we don't.
Hold on, we can resolve this.
Here, I think it's in here.
Okay, so what do we... this should work. We're doing it live. Okay, so we're going to put that there to zero it out.
There's batch 1.
And then we've... so we've... 1.52 pounds. So do some math. Where's your calculator?
2. Oh, I got one right here.
So we'll just add them all up.
2 pounds?
1.5 pounds.
1.5. Okay.
Plus 2 pounds exactly.
Okay.
Plus can you get that? Get excited. Plus 4.25. 7.75. So almost 7.75 pounds, almost 8 pounds.
Almost 8 pounds of
Smoked salmon from Alaska. I am so happy.
Edgar Casey she had a lot of Edgar Casey material. She bought a whole encyclopedia of the occult as like for the FBI. There's no way to talk like this. She talked about a mother would make predictions and analysts. We're going to close this program, but we're going to go here and we're going to go there. So they assumed that
Alright, so we're going to drill a 5/16 hole all the way through. Alright, next up is a 1/2-inch hole. This is the middle of that bracket so that the bolt can go through for the rollers. I think we're going to hit this, but I think that's going to be fine. I'm going to try and aim a little bit that way so that it doesn't slip, because I know all this is rotten. I don't know how far down it's rotten. Okay, we want to be 1.5 inches in. So it's probably more than enough. Before you get up there. Have you ever won any money in Vegas?
No. I can't say I've never betted, because my sister took me to a casino one time.
You just went to the strip clubs?
No, it was a casino.
Does it come off?
No, there's another one in there.
It's a good sign.
Nice.
So that'll go all the way down, which you don't need it to. We'll put the little stoppers on there so it doesn't go too far.
Okay.
Like that.
So this, oh, it came off the end.
I'm done. So that's okay. Those 3 more to go. Okay, we got another hanger. Why is it not going smooth? So I'll loosen this up to bring this out a little bit so it doesn't rub here and make a problem. It goes in between the two without any problem. But when I loosen these up, that'll fix this.
Oh, okay.
The end here is not even close to coming to that. It comes to the edge of the 2x6. So anyway, let's get this fixed.
These doors are magnificent.
Okay, so we figured it out. So what I did on the door is I cut a wedge. I think you can see that there and put it on top of this piece, which you just saw a second ago. Then it gets wider and wider and wider and wider. And I don't know if the floor is not even, if the top piece isn't even, or more likely the doors are not completely square, because I don't remember measuring them for being square. I just remember measuring the top and the bottom are the same and the sides are the same. I don't know what happened to the video when we put these on, so boom, there they are. But I think Lisa's at least 5% happy.
I'm ecstatic. Because you can close this up and have nice space with heat.
And then it's nice and warm. So when those are closed, I think, oh, it's perfectly even too. So you've got the doors from the inside. So there's those two doors. And then if you guys remember, we did that door on the other side that actually goes to the back of the camper. Boom, right there. Oh, so that one stops. These two are free floating in any direction. So, but this is the one that we use because, oh, hi, Luria. Come on, inside. Feel better now? Because I got some extra pieces of plywood there. Like, it's not perfectly tight, but it's pretty good.
Well, first go around using recycled lumber.
Sure keeps it a lot warmer in here.
That lumber, all this lumber, well, besides the center
Besides these, the tongue and groove.
the outlining of it all came from this property. It was in this huge pile. Yeah, it's like who knew you had this treasure under this pile of snow when we arrived.
They're probably tired of hearing about that same pile as we've been talking about forever. All right, and I think that's a wrap for this one. Why don't we haven't put out a lot of videos because we haven't been doing a whole lot. So Lisa, do you want to give it the first shot before I just take over? Luria, center. Good girl. On what we've been doing?
Well, the new year has come upon us.
Come and left.
We've had birthdays, and
we're older now.
We've gotten sick, and recovered, so that's good. On to better days. We had a Christmas parade, our second annual parade here in town.
Yep.
And as you guys saw, we did some smoking of salmon, which is amazing. Batch 3.
I'm still in the afterglow of that salmon.
Yes. Let's see. Our brains have been zzz, like working. So, coming back from Alaska, we are definitely thinking more along the line of having the cabin there worked for when we were there.
Oh, we're not going to go over the plans itself. So, I would say a good 90% of what we've been doing this winter is work up here and coming up with what our game plan is going to be for Alaska. That has been our focus since we got, well, after we cleaned this place up when we got back. That's really been our focus, and just some chill time. We've had some family stuff to take care of. But for Alaska, we've spent a lot of time coming up with with a game plan that we both feel good about.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to go over the plan that we have in our heads right now because things change. And I always feel really stupid when you go, uh-oh, that's not going to work. Let's do a 180 and go a completely different direction when you're putting it on YouTube, because then you have to go back and explain why you did what you did. So we're just going to let things unravel, and we'll record episodes as the unraveling unravels.
Yep.
As things happen. I think it's going to be worth sticking around. We're super excited about it. We're going to do just one step at a time. Is kind of our way of doing things. But that's really what we've been working on. And I would say the one thing that I guess we could
Divulge,
yeah, that's kind of your favorite word. We'll use that. The one thing we can divulge today is hopefully next week we'll get on the schedule with a land surveyor to get that base done that seems to need to be done before you really do anything else. But we've got to wait for all the snow to melt before he can actually go out and do the work. So we've got that in process, and then the next few weeks, we need to go take care of some more family stuff. So we will be in Portland for a few weeks, and I don't think we'll really record anything on that because that's not, this channel is about cabin living in the mountains in Southeast Washington and cabin living in Alaska, and not just our daily lives. So that's why we don't like record every day waking up and getting coffee and doing whatever we're doing, because that just seems weird to me. It's just not what we're into. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm just listening. Just attempt.
Learning.
I'm learning.
So that's what we've been doing. That's what we're up to. That's where we're headed in the future. Super excited about our plans in Alaska. And that would be great if you guys follow along if that's something you're interested in. So, but thank you for being here. We appreciate all the kind compliments. There's many of you that regularly leave really nice comments, and that's super cool. We appreciate it. Right, Maria? Anything else, Lisa? We're wrapping up?
There'll be some projects around here that we're going to finish up
Yeah.
before we leave again.
Yeah, we need to figure out what we're going to do with that field where the sunflowers were.
Yeah, they didn't grow last year.
And then where the, oh, well, you guys saw we finished up where the lake is and then smoothed all that out. It's all full of snow now, but that feels really good to get done. And then we need to figure out what we can plant. We want, maybe you all have some good ideas. We want some like tall grass that's thick, that will push out all the thistles, which is a major problem here. And then what are the super tall ones? The nice soft...
mullein.
Mullins. And I know you're all screaming mullins are great for all these wonderful things. Well, when they grow everywhere and they're weeds, we'll keep them in one mullein area. But other than that, we need a thick undergrowth. Hopefully lots of pollen for the bees would be a focus. But to push those thistles out and to cover up the dirt so it doesn't dry out in the summer, because the grass would provide the shade. So we need a good solution there. We put down a lot of seed last year, a lot of seed. 1% grew. I won't say 0.
Yeah.
So we need to do something different than what we did last year.
Sad coming back.
Because if what you're doing ain't working, don't keep doing the same thing. All right. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, what we tried to grow was...
Look at the people.
There was a radish that goes deep. It's like a white radish.
Like a big radish, not just a little round one.
Raycon radish? I don't know if that's right. So a radish. We did wildflower mix. We did clover. We did sainfoin. We did
well, it was
crimson clover.
Yeah, it was a mountain pollinator mix. So made for like bees and other pollinators to attract.
So there's
them.
like 5 or 6 different seeds we combined and spread them all over the field. And exactly.
Weeds and mullins. Weeds, mullins, and
thistles.
Thistles, like 6 feet tall thistles.
Yeah, they're taller than me. I have a picture.
It
was crazy.
Nuts. So we need to figure that out before we leave back up to Alaska so that can grow.
And add things back to the soil is what we're after.
Yeah.
Make the soil more fertile.
And we'll be back up in Oregon to get the bees set up for the year in the spring before we take off. Probably at least once, maybe twice before we go. Because that's like an 8-hour drive to get up there. To get down there. All right, let's wrap it up. People are falling asleep.
Grab some coffee. I did.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.